Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. We are going to go through Pakistan versus New Zealand, the second T20. Unfortunately, Pakistan lost, so I'm a little bit sad about that. So before we start, I've got Ashdod from Cricket4Us 2.0 and VENU from, you should recognize, VENU's Cricket Catch Up. How are we both doing?
Good.
Good. Cool. Okay, let's go through this. Pakistan losing by 9 wickets. It's pretty depressing. First of all, let's go on to Pakistan's the first innings. This isn't a test match, so Pakistan's only innings. 163 for 6 in the end. The only shining light, which I'm sure Ashad and Venu will both touch upon, is Mohammad Hafeez, 99, not out. I'm very, very, very disappointed they didn't get 100. Should have got, 150, because that's the only score. If he'd got 150, we might have got a decent score, because 160 on this track didn't look like enough. So first of all, what were your guys' opinions on the Pakistan innings as a whole? Venu,
it's very similar. Thanks, Fazan. It was very similar to the innings for the first T20. They didn't get off to a great start, and the middle order had to come in and really get them to a respectable total. And the same thing happened today. Actually, they looked quite good initially after the first 10 balls. They looked quite good. I think
Raleigh looked good, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked good. He a really good
Southee for 6. Yeah,
really good. Really timed it really well. And I was thinking, yes, we've got a game on here. And the next thing you know, he's just missed time one, trying to go over cover, I think, and straight to Kane Williamson.
Yeah,
and easy catch. And then Abdullah Shafiq, his second ball out to the same Tim Southee over. So Pakistan were 2 for 16. And then Mohammad Rizwan, he looked quite good, out for 22. And then they were 3 for 33. And basically, I must admit, I did get up early to watch this innings. And then after that wicket, I thought, I think there's another collapse imminent. And I went back to bed. And I woke up and I saw Hafeez was one short of a century. So fair play to him to get Pakistan to a respectable total. And he's probably the batsman of this year of 2020. So he's the 2020 batsman of 2020.
Ben, you're not allowed to say that yet, because we're going to do our yearly awards. So you can't.
Well, I can say what I want.
You're not allowed to give an accolade out before we discussed.
I just did. We're going to do about it.
You have to agree with the panel first.
I'm entitled to an opinion.
No, I know you are. I know. So let's rephrase. Venu's opinion is that he is the T20 Player of the Year, but it's yet to be decided. It's a surprise whether he actually.
Well, it's my opinion. It's not the panel's opinion. It's my opinion.
Fine. The panel's decision is imminent.
Yeah, we'll wait for that.
We'll wait for that from all of us, including you. Okay. I agree though. Mohammad Hafeez last 2 years has been quality. I think he averaged, Venu said to you, and I think actually he averaged like over 90 in 10 innings. And since then, this would have helped his average as well. Obviously, the last T20 didn't perform, but I guess similar to Dawud Malan, every other innings at least he's making a score. And again, look, if it wasn't for him, a strike rate of 170 it was, 170, 5 sixes, 10 fours, 99 or 57, then I think Pakistan, as Venu said, we would have probably collapsed and pretty badly in the end. But he got us home. I mean, there's not really much else to talk about apart from some very loose shots. Ashad, do you want to talk about Abdullah Shafiq? Because I think you're of the thinking that he's going to get dropped, and I think he will after 2 back-to-back ducks, unfortunately, for the youngster.
Yeah, the thing is, everyone who actually knows the way that he plays domestically says he's not a T20 batsman. He's a one-day or a test match kind of batsman. He's been slotted into here because of his 100 in one match in the domestic T20 Cup, and he's been thrust into the T20 side, and you can see that he's quite uncomfortable here. I know he debuted against Zimbabwe and he looked okay, but at the other end he had Babar Azam right at the time. Now Pakistan doesn't have that type of solidity. The only actual batsman who has been performing consistently is Mohammad Hafeez. Now Abdullah Shafiq, I think that was a bad shot altogether. Like playing across the line of a ball that's so wide outside off, this didn't make any sense. Also, I just wanted to touch on the Hafeez point very quickly. He is the 2020 batsman of 2020. I just wanted to say that. And
Stop it! Stop it! Stop self-proclaiming! Stop it!
and yeah, Heather Ali smashed that beautiful six over a long on or mid wicket, and then just skied one straight to Williamson, as VENU said. So yeah, there's nothing much to actually be discussed with regards to the Pakistani innings. I was actually genuinely surprised that Imad Wasim came in at 8. Like, he is too skilled to come in at 8. Because if he came in at 6, I'm assuming Pakistan would have gotten a bigger score. I understand they're thinking Khustal Shah is a better batsman. He doesn't look comfortable on this pitch either. All three of these, I want to say new guys, so Abdullah Shafiq, Heather Ali, and Khustal Shah look very uncomfortable trying to bat on these bouncy tracks. And yes, they need practice. So I think they will drop him, but I think he should get another chance just to see, because he's faced 4 deliveries, he's gotten out twice. If he does it one more time, then yeah, fair enough. But I personally think he deserves another shot because he's in the side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, as you said, the bouncy tracks, these, especially youngsters, I think I touched upon it in the first T20 review with VENU. We both agreed that the inexperienced players are struggling on these New Zealand pitches because they're not used to having pitches that are this bouncy. And the reason I think why Abdullah Shafiq played that shot, my thinking, well, if I'm trying to get inside the head of him, I'm thinking, okay, the reason why he's played that is because the first match, he chipped one to mid-on because it rose on him. This one, he's probably thinking, well, there's going to be extra bounce. So he's probably practicing his flat bat shots because obviously if it's going to be bouncier, then you can utilize the pull, the kind of clip off your hips. And that's what he tried to do in the end. Unfortunately, as you said, Ashton, it was a bit too wide or stump and he didn't execute it correctly. And it was bad shot selection, to say the least. I think you have to play differently on these New Zealand pitches. And I think, unfortunately, his approach was wrong. And obviously we saw that because, again, he got out for a duck. But again, 0 off 2 even. Haider Ali, again, I think Barbara Azam said that I think it was Inzamam actually said that Haider Ali's an amazing talent, but he needs to get out of the mindset of wanting to hit every ball for 6. And again, I saw that because he hit a very good 6, as VENU said. And then 2 balls later, it was a dot. And then he thought, oh, let's go again. And because it's a bouncy track, he went to try and drive on the up, which if you're driving on the up in New Zealand, it's even harder because it's going to end up hitting the top of your bat. And that's what happened. And he chipped it straight to mid-off. So I think it's learning experiences here. And as I said, the youngsters are going to have to improve, are going to have to perform if we were to have any chance. And obviously they haven't, and that's fine. Khustal Shah, I'm a little bit worried about him because even in the Zimbabwe series, he didn't look great. I don't know, I was a bit excited about him because I thought he might be the finisher we need. But the more I see him, the more I think he's not maybe suited to the international arena. And I know I said that about Haris Rolfe, and now he seems to be proving me wrong. But in general, I think normally I'm okay about judging these. And Imad Wasim, I agree, should have been in front of Fahim Ashraf at least, even though Fahim Ashraf batted well in the last match. I think Imad Wasim is a must to have as many balls as possible in the last 5, 6, 7 overs. So yeah. Okay, let's touch upon the bowling then. Trent Boult obviously came back in, and they had Southee, no Duffy. Obviously, he performed really well in the first T20, which I thought was a bit surprising, but he obviously made his debut in the first one. So it was Boult, Southee, Jamieson, Kugelheim, Neesham bowled a couple, and Ish Sodhi bowled 3. What did you think about the bowling effort as a whole? Let's go to Ashid first.
I thought one thing was very apparent, that the only person who could swing the ball on this pitch was Tim Southee, right? Barring him, everyone else, personally, I thought they bowled similar to how Pakistan bowled. The only outstanding bit for me was Tim Southee. Everyone else bowled exactly how they would in a T20 game in New Zealand. But for me, the big issue was that Kugelheim played, even though I thought Duffy should have played. I know he debuted in the last game. Kugelheim, even in the other game, he took 3 wickets, but he didn't bowl as well as I think Duffy did, personally. But maybe because Kugelheim has a bit more pace, that's why they went for him.
Yeah, he does. He's like, he can get it up to like mid 140s, and I think he's a little bit more experienced, so I think that's why they went in with him. Also, he's a left-hander, isn't he? Am I wrong?
No, he's a right-hander.
No, he's a right-hander. Sorry, he's right. I'm thinking of someone
Wagner.
else. But yeah, Wagner. So I think that extra pace is probably why they picked him.
Yeah, and I think one thing I was really happy about, because in the last game they didn't utilize Jimmy Neesham at all. In this one they did, and 10 runs of 2 overs, and he took the wicket of Shadab Khan, bouncing him out. So I think all in all, it was a decent performance, but I expect better from New Zealand personally. I think New Zealand are such a good side that if they've got Boult back, they've got Southee back, they've got Jamieson back, Pakistan should have scored a lot less than they did in the previous game. I know different pitch, different ground, everything, but similar pitches in my opinion. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised to see Jamieson go for 10.75 and over, no wickets, because I was expecting a little bit. I think it's difficult though sometimes to come into a T20 game after you've just played Test matches as well. Though it is difficult to find your different areas and also variations, etc. So that might be why. Venu, what do you think quickly about the overall bowling effort from New Zealand?
I agree with what Ash had said, and there was a moment in Tim Southee's third over where Kane Williamson brought in 4 slips. It was great to see, and it's a T20 game, and because he was bowling really well and just bowling outside off stump, he put in 4 slips, maybe 3 slips. I might be wrong, but good performance from Tim Southee there. But as Ashad was saying, that I think they could have been better. The other bowlers could have been better, and as you said, Fizan, Carl Jamieson going at over 10 and over is quite surprising, but it just shows how well Hafeez batted.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the innings looks good considering, how Pakistan's other batsmen end up going. Okay, so 163 for 6. And I think you're kind of thinking Pakistan are going to have to come up with the goods here and bowl even better than they had in the first T20. Just because I think with Williamson coming back, it's just such a big plus. I mean, we talk about Bob Razam, but you put Bob Razam in a side like New Zealand, and then that's basically what you're thinking. If you put Bob Razam in there instead of Williamson, basically that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. Like, okay, Bob Razam's missing. You got Pakistan, but say if you put Bob Razam in the first T20 New Zealand side, imagine how good they are. And it's exactly the same with Williamson. So obviously Guptill looked destructive whilst he was in, and obviously him and Tim Seifert were straight away 35. I mean, when Guptill fell, it was 35 for 1 or 3.3 overs. So Shaheen and Haris Rolfe obviously not having the best of times out there. Tim Seifert, though, again, just came up with the goods, 84-63. I think he's now solidified his opening slot alongside Martin Guptill. Venu, what did you think of Tim Seifert as a whole, his batting display? Are we seeing, I guess, an appropriate heir to Brendan McCullum in a sense? You're going to have someone who's able to bat with Martin Guptill at a high level. I
agree. I think you're right, Fazan, in alluding to the Brendan McCullum comparison, the fact that he's a wicketkeeper as well. I don't think he's yet in the same caliber as Brendan McCullum. I think he's needs to prove himself a bit more. He's still quite a bit early in his T20 career, but very promising signs for New Zealand. The fact that they found a good opening partner for Martin Guptill, and Kane Williamson after first drop, that's a solid top 3. So well played to Tim Seifert, and he got 50 the previous match. Is that correct?
Yeah, he did. Sorry.
Yeah.
So just shows what type of form he's in, isn't it?
Exactly.
He's in great
batting
form.
really well.
Yeah, and you know what? We keep on going on about it, but I think the depth and quality of New Zealand's just not even just a T20 squad, but all their squads at the moment is just incredible. And I said this to Venu, about Devon Conway, that I think long term he could play Test cricket, in my opinion. Just from, even though I've only seen him play a couple of matches, he didn't get a chance today because Seifert and Williamson were both not out. Seifert 84 of 63, and Williamson 57 of 42. So didn't get to see him or Glenn Phillips, which obviously all 3 of us have talked about and said how exciting they might be. But do you want to touch upon Williamson? How good was he today?
he's never not amazing. So that's the thing about Kane Williamson. He walks in the side, right? And it's like business as usual, even though he hasn't played for however long, right? Comes in, gets a 50. There was an edge initially that went through the gap of second slip and the keeper, which was the only time comfortable, again, in the first 5-6 deliveries. But from that point onwards, he just knows how to build an innings, whatever format it is. He was 18 off 18, then he was 35 of like 24, 25 deliveries. Like he just sped up instantaneously and then just went, because they didn't need to do any like superlative like attacking shots or anything like that. But he did do some really cool shots, like he dabbed one over the keeper for 6, which was just amazing, right? And just he's class. He's absolute class. It's really, really difficult to say anything bad about his batting, because even that cover drive was brilliant. Like he hit one, I can't remember who the bowler was, but he hit one straight through the covers, and I was like, it's great to see this, because there's no Babar Azam in this series. At least now we can see someone with that type of caliber, or even better, respectively, to play those types of shots. And it was just fantastic to watch. He got a 50, which is exactly what he deserves. And there was a statistic I wanted to tell you was, Kane Williamson has an average of above 100 on this specific ground, which means I think he's scored 350, 360 runs in 10 innings, and he's only been dismissed 3 times. That's just absolutely amazing. And he loves this ground. So that's something that was really, really cool.
Yeah, Williamson is a very, very underrated T20 player, in my opinion, I think. Because we always talk about how good he is in Test cricket. And I think last year in the World Cup, people realised, look, he's an amazing ODI player as well. But I think even in T20s, and I said this to VENU as well, that I do think he is an all 3 format player. And yes, he might not be that gung-ho player, but it doesn't matter, because when you've got a player like Williamson or Kohli or Babar Azam or Steve Smith, they can play all 3 formats, and they give you that X factor no matter what format. And it's incredible that he's managed to come back from a Test match and missed the first T20. Obviously hadn't played during that paternity leave, and then he just come back and just played the way he has. So amazing. Okay, let's wrap up with a couple of positives, hopefully, for Pakistan. So for me, I thought Fahim Ashraf bowling well again, I thought was a big positive, because we really need only economy of 5.7, and Shadab Khan coming back and bowling well, only going for 6 and over, because he didn't bowl very well. I was a bit worried because he batted very well in the first T20, but his bowling was terrible in terms of, like, he just got slapped everywhere. And you know that you get hit as a leg spinner, but normally he recovers, but he didn't. This one, he ended up bowling 4 overs as captain, took responsibility, and no wickets, but I thought it was good. And Fahim Ashraf as well. Veni, what do you think? Do you think Pakistan might finally have a decent Seymour Rowdy and Fahim Ashraf?
Yeah, I think he does look. He looks very promising for Pakistan, especially going forward. Yeah, I think he's probably the one of the positives of the T20 series. But I think they'll be disappointed not to get results as of yet. Hopefully they can get a result for the next T20.
Okay, let's go on to that then, because I don't think it's pessimist. I think it's just realistic. I said before I think we would lose 3-0, and I know Benny, you said 2-1, which I appreciated that, because I just don't think, unfortunately,
Still possible.
It is. It's just, I just think New Zealand is just so good at the moment, and without Barbara, I just think we really are unfortunately lacking. But who knows? Hopefully we can. What do you think, Ashton? Do you think we've got any chance in the third T20?
No.
I mean, the first one wasn't a thrashing. This one was a little bit of a thrash. Well, it was a thrashing, 9 wickets. So I like to say it's not because there was only 4 balls left, but we know how they just paced their innings well, didn't they? Let's be honest. Also, Wahabri Azam for 19 in his only over. So I'm assuming he'll get dropped. Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one. Horace Rolfe did go for 9.75, but he bowled really well in the first T20, so he won't get dropped. Yeah.
I don't think any of Shaheen or Haris Rolfe are going to get dropped. They're going to try and bring in Hasnain.
Yeah.
I think Wahab was used terribly, and he was bowling really bad deliveries. Like bowling
Yeah.
short to Seifert is an absolute shocker. You don't bowl short to Seifert.
Yeah.
I think Hassan's going to come in. I have a feeling that even though I don't want them to drop Abdullah Shafiq, I think they're going to drop in and bring in Hussain Talat, and they're going to swap Mohammad Rizwan for Sarfraz Ahmed.
Okay. Well, let's see how it goes. Okay. Thank you both very much. Do you guys have anything you want to touch upon before we wrap up? No? Okay. Well, thank you for persisting with my terrible internet connection and a couple of little glitches on Ash's side as well, which is very interesting. But no, it was well worth the wait. So thank you, VENU, and also Ash from Cricket4Us. Guys, if you haven't already, please make sure that you check out VENU's Cricket Catch Up, which is a playlist on, my channel. But to be honest, I'll say it's our channel, mine and VENU's channel. Why not? He's got a little playlist on there called VENU's Weekly Cricket Catch Up. So please check that out. It's a really, really cool segment that he puts together, and he puts a lot of effort into it. And they're really good discussion topics, topics across the whole week. And I do timestamp it. So if you do want to check out just a few topics, you can do that as well. But obviously, give it a listen. It's a nice, almost like a little podcast. And also check out Usher's channel, Cricket4Us 2.0, where he goes through a bunch of different cricketing news and also reviews, etc. as well, similar to, I guess, what we're doing, but a little bit different, I think, a little bit of a twist, a bit shorter than ours. Okay, guys, stay safe. Thank you again, both of you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.